What's up, everybody? We are back now. Today we have a very, very special video for you guys. As you've seen, I'm pretty sure you've noticed. If you read the title, you've seen the thumbnail. Have an interview today with the man himself, Brent, the creator of Ordeal. So y'all already know who I am. I'm JD, and this is G, along with the Taco Fix. And yeah, Brent, we're excited to have you today, man. I'm glad you was able to join us. Glad you was able to bless us with this opportunity of being able to ask you some questions, picking your brain a little bit, as everybody is anticipating season 2 of Ordeal. So first, I want to just start off with letting you give the audience a brief introduction of yourself and Ordeal. For those who have never heard of Ordeal, how would you describe it to them? So I'm gonna let you take the floor.
All right, thanks for having me. My name is Brent. I made a little story called Ordeal, so I hope you guys like it. Ordeal is just a little story that I did as an assignment for school. Initially, it was just for a project, and I took it a little further because of the feedback I was getting. People seemed to like it, and they were giving me a lot of encouragement, so I continued it, and that's where we are today. It's inspired by how I grew up. I just loved anime and action, DC and Marvel and all these different superhero stories and comics. I grew up on traditional boy stuff, comics and stuff like that.
Right.
And action figures and all these things. So it really was a dream to make comics. I was always making comics when I was small. I would take, photo paper from the printer and I'd fold it and I'd draw and make my little action figures and little comics. And so that's where we are today.
All right. That's great. That's great, man. Look, if I had the penmanship that you have, I would be doing the exact same thing. A lot of people cannot, they just can't do what you do. And if you guys haven't read Ordeal, definitely go and check it out. This man is a master with the pen, bro. I'm telling you, his art game is on point. Definitely read the series. Of course, I'm gonna have all of this linked in the description below, so you can go check it out. But G, you want to go ahead and get into some questions, my guy?
Hold on. He said it started out as just like a school project. Yo, that's wild. Yeah. That's amazing,
crazy.
Dude.
That is crazy.
That's crazy. It wasn't even something that wasn't like a passion project, and it was like it was schoolwork. That's crazy, dude. That's awesome that you've been able to turn that from just like where it started to where it is now. Like that's so dope. Going on season 2 too. That's amazing, bro.
Yeah, I can't take all the credit for that. I can't take all the credit at all because I would not have continued it if it wasn't for the feedback and the comments I was getting. I mean, people were saying amazing things, and when they get in those kind of positive, things poured into you, it's just inevitable. You just flew with it. So I'm happy where I am today. So.
Yeah, that's like I said, dude. That's amazing, bro. That's an amazing. I love to find out like the backstory of how things came to be, and I didn't expect that at all. I thought it was something you probably doing when you were like a little kid and like you just like grew into it and just kept going with it. But that's crazy for it to have been like starting out that way. I think that's dope.
Definitely.
Go ahead, JD. Lead with the questions, bro.
All right. So I mean, I guess we can go ahead and get the questions. So of course, you pretty much answered the first question I had for you, which how did you come up with the idea the idea of Ordeal? And you said it was a school project. But could you elaborate a little more on how Ordeal came to be, even though you started out as a school project?
Sure. The assignment was to take whatever you learned during these 3 years of your degree. So you take anything you want and you make something to show your progress, what you've learned over the course of your bachelor's. And ever since I was small, as I said, I loved comics. So I wanted to just find a way to make a comic. So I didn't have a lot of time and all these things. I had about a year to do it, a little less than a year. And I didn't have a lot of time to create an in-depth story. And I knew my teachers would be big fans of anime, so I knew I could make a manga. So I had to make it colored. Right. So I wanted to get good grades, right? So I just tried to come up with something that I know my teachers would like, a story. And at first I started off, she was he was a gangster. The original concept of he was a gangster. And everybody, Tevin and And during all of them, they were just gangsters, and they were they had their own small gang in the vicinity where they were living, and that was the main story then. But it was lacking what I loved, which was the superpower, sci-fi, super real, surreal aspect of it. So I wanted superpowers. I didn't want to be bland, so I did that, and I just wanted to make something I know my teachers would like, and I just hoped that I can make maybe 2 or 3 chapters, and then that's it.
Okay.
Done for about 3 chapters and done. And when I did it, one of my classmates told me about Webtoons, and she told me, it's a good site and look into it. So I just uploaded the first few chapters that I had already completed on Webtoons, because at the time there was a competition on Webtoons for action comics where the winner would get a contract. So when I saw it, and I wasn't completed with Ordeal as yet, but I decided to just enter the competition hoping I could win. It would be a great opportunity to get a job, So I did that, and obviously I lost horribly, but
hey,
it was good for me because I ended up with Ordeal being on Webtoons.
Right.
I don't think I ever would have done it if it wasn't for the competition and my friends who recommended it to me.
Right.
But that's where it went, and when I realized Ordeal can go on more than just 3 chapters, that's when I started to really work into the lore and build the stories and the characters and add more to the world and project a 50-chapter timeline and stuff like that. Initially, it was not like that at all. It was just supposed to be 3 chapters. So that's when I had to add in new things, and I had my own stories and manga ideas when I was a kid, but I didn't bring any. Well, I brought some of the stuff from that into Ordeal, but that's the full backstory of how all this started.
Okay, all right. G, you want to start with your question? I know you had one you were dying to ask.
Well, just a quick question right now too. So, when you initially did the whole canvas thing for Webtoons, was it did you do the before Ordeal, or was it straight Ordeal and then you came out with the before after?
It was straight Ordeal, and before Ordeal is just I did that separately in case there was another competition. I could enter that, because that's like a spin-off story for Ordeal. It's like a flashback of the timeline of the first characters that ever came into the Ordeal universe. It's just like a spin-off storyline all by itself. It ties into the story, but it can stand alone. So that's why I put it separately in case of I ever needed to submit something. I can just submit that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's legit. I just asked that because, you're right, the stories do tie in. So I was just asking if it was written before and you just dropped it later, or
No, that came way after.
Oh, really? That's legit. So, but why? Okay, now the character names. How did those come about? For the before Ordeal, and then picking which Greek god, or is that something that you're passionate about, like the whole Greek mythology?
So I do like mythology, but I think that's not the reason why I did it. When it came to picking the names, I did not want to use names of actual gods and historical figures. So I would keep certain human historical figures, like Achilles. I have him in one of the chapters. But I didn't want to use the names, but I wanted to get the essence of the character. So I use everybody's favorite Google Translate, and I got all my names from translating the concept of the character into a Greek name. So, for example, Ilios, Thanatos, and then there's Okeanos and Katagida. And these are just names that translate in Katagida is thunderstorm, which I believe I don't need to say who in Greek mythology he represents, right?
Yeah.
And it was just to not use the names. I wanted to make my own names and that still tie into the culture, I guess.
Okay.
Yes, that's legit.
Definitely. So I know first before I ask you the next question, do you plan on continuing that spinoff? Giving that spinoff a complete timeline and just have it tie in to Ordeal even more? Or
before Ordeal?
Before
all the Greek guys. I actually really, really love that part of it. And I'm still tying in those characters into the current timeline.
Okay.
Spoiler warning. But they are still very much a part of Shay's timeline, even though they are gone ever long ago. How many years have passed? Mm-hmm. So they're still a part. So you still will see them. They will make their own appearances in whatever area I so desire to do. No spoilers there. But I do like that timeline. I do want to go back to it and flesh it out some more if I could. Maybe make a short spin-off, or maybe a 5-10 chapter spin-off of their backstory and when they were kids. Because they have a timeline, they have parents,
right.
And they're not just these godlike, powerful beings that didn't have an origin. So they do have parents. Right. And I would love to.
Yeah, you actually mentioned too in there about how like where things went wrong when they were defeating the brother, and he was like, where did it all go wrong? Why do they hate me now? Type stuff, So that'd be something to talk about or see, how we got to that point. So that'd be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be something that would be super.
It is a plan,
yeah. Definitely looking forward to that, man. If you ever do that spinoff, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it to see how everything came to be. How the first powers that come to be, how they get their powers and everything from the very beginning. So definitely very interested in seeing how that comes together. Hopefully you do that soon. I ain't gonna rush it though. I'm keep myself under control. I'm not gonna rush it. But so for those who are wondering, what is it like being a Webtoon creator? Because we see a lot of people, starting series or want to start series, and they probably have no idea what they're getting themselves into. So first, what is it like being a Webtoon creator? And the second follow-up question, well, kind of a part two. What would you tell people who want to become a Webtoon creator like yourself? What should they do, or what path you think would be a good one to follow?
Okay. First of all, you need to know whether you're doing this as a hobby or as a job. If you want to pursue this as a way of making a living, you need to, you can do it passionately and do it just because you love it, but you need to understand that there will be limitations if you don't acknowledge that there's certain things, certain guidelines you should follow if you want this to really become successful. For example, the format. So the format means the layout of how the panels and chapters they come out. Right. When I first uploaded audio, I made it for print. So the panels aren't very spaced out, and I made it to be printed in hard copy. Right? But Webtoon's format is a lot more spaced out because they have a elongated panel canvas, right? So you need to acknowledge if that's what you want, you need to make the adjustments and set out for that. And they have a lot of stories that you can look at as guidelines of how they did it and how they use suffix and how they use the text that they use, speech bubbles, different things like this, and pacing. And Webtoons has some stories that give you a good guideline on how to make a good Webtoon. And if you really want to stand out, because there are probably new stories uploaded every day to Webtoons.
Right.
So to stand out, to get a contract, to be successful, because this is, if you want this to be a way of making an income, you need to be better than the other guy, right? So you need to excel in your story, maybe your art, you need to excel in something to stand out. And if you're passionate about it, it won't be a job. It will be, fun for you. Mm-hmm. So really work on, I've been drawing a very long time. And work on your arts. Perfect your art, perfect your style, what you love to draw. You don't need to copy somebody else's style, make your own. For example, I used to try to copy anime style. My favorite manga growing up was Naruto. Might sound cliche, but it has one of the best art styles of all time. Come on.
My God.
Right?
My God. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. The art style it's anime, but it's still very realistic, My boy.
Hey, man.
Art style is great. So I used to try to copy that. Mm-hmm. But I also really liked DC and Marvel American westernized style of comic art. Because that was a lot closer to realism, which I actually do really like too. So I tried to incorporate both of them. So if you notice in my art style, it's a realistic anime. That's the best way to put it. So it's a mixture of westernized anime kind of style. So I made my own style after failing, trying to copy other people. Eventually you just make your own and run with it. Do your best that you can do and love your story and take the advice you can get. You're never too good to not receive advice or look for counsel. So it's always good to get tips and advice from people who know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. So take your advice and work hard at it. And Webtoons does a good job at seeking out new talent. So if your story is good, they will find you because it's in their best interest to find good stories. Mm-hmm. It is in their best interest to promote good art and good content. So once you work on your thing and do your best, you will succeed. So give it your best shot. You're not too late to try.
All right. Great advice.
That's awesome.
And it's COVID, so everybody's home. Right.
That's true. That is true. So I noticed you said, you know, you really like DC, Marvel, and Naruto is your favorite growing up. Well, what's your favorite characters from what's your favorite character from Naruto, starting off first?
I was a Rock Lee fan. Like Rock Lee. I love the bandage and the Bruce Lee kind of look. Right. I was a Rock Lee fan. I think as time went on, I just gravitated to probably Hashirama.
Okay.
For a good guy.
Right.
But I mean, the best character in Naruto was probably between Madara and Itachi's friend who gave him the eye. What's his name?
Obi?
No, not Obito. You're talking about Shinsui.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No. The guy. No,
the guy who gave Itachi his Sharingan at when he died, right?
Yeah.
That
guy.
Yeah.
So it's between two of them. I mean, Naruto built a hype around Madara for about 15 years.
Right.
And then just released him in 2017 in the manga and the anime. That was amazing. I mean, I've been reading and watching the cartoon on Toonami when I was growing up. Right. And they were talking about Madara and Hashirama 15 years. Like, that is good storytelling. Come on.
Definitely.
Build a hype around character for so long. So.
Hey, my favorite is Itachi. You know, I'm always ride for my boy.
Itachi the GOAT.
GOAT, man. That shit, he is.
Gotta ride for my boy. So what's your favorite in the Marvel universe? Who's your favorite?
Marvel, I have a thing for archers. I think archery is just so cool. So I've always liked, the archer type guys. So Hawkeye and all these kind of people.
Okay.
I think my favorite comic character of all time would have to be Iron Fist. For some reason, I just love the Iron Fist comics growing up. They were brutal and they were really good. So I just love Iron Fist.
I'm noticing a trend of you just liking the whole martial arts. Iron Fist, Rock Lee. That's what it seems like you are right now.
I think it's amazing. So yeah.
So I guess it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say on the DC side, you know, maybe that Batman type.
And Green Arrow.
Green Arrow. All
right.
For sure.
I know it had to be one of those.
Yeah, Batman for sure too. Yeah.
I would definitely say if we're going villains for DC, my favorite will have to be the Batman Who Laughs, which I know is not like he's not like true canon. It was more of a spinoff that they did, but like
it was great.
Yeah, it was definitely great. It's pretty much, for those of you who don't know who Batman, the story of Batman Who Laughs pretty much is, if Batman turned evil, you know the running meme going around, if Batman has prep time, he can beat anybody. So this is pretty much that Batman who has prep time. He has all of Batman's fighting skills, money, and all of that, but he has the Joker's personality. So it's kind of like that perfect villain. And I'm not going to spoil it and say how strong he becomes, but just know he becomes somebody that's to be reckoned with. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Let's definitely say that. G, what was your next question, Bray?
Oh, I just want to talk about the actual culture of the Webtoon of Ordeal. Yeah. Like, what made you go with that? And then, like, some of the dialogue and stuff like that. Like, where's that from? Like, what inspired you to make it that way?
So I am West Indian. I'm from Trinidad, which is a really small country in the Caribbean. It's part of the Caribbean islands. So I'm actually holding back my accent so strongly so that you can understand what I'm saying. But my if you notice in my story, I don't have Well, the predominant race is most likely African in my story, but I have a lot of different races and stuff, and that wasn't even forced. It wasn't. I didn't try to do that because my everyday life is like that. In my country, we're full of everybody. You know, it was usually a melting pot. So we have everywhere you go, we have different races. So that wasn't forced for me, but most of my friends and family and all these things, I kind of put them into the story. For example, Shay Hart, my main character, that's a mixture of two of my friends' names. I have a friend named Shaylee, and another guy, Jonathan Hart, and I kind of took their names because I liked certain things really jump out to me. So I just love the short, abrupt, unique thing about the name Shay. So, and I kind of have reasons for naming him Hart as well. So, so no spoilers there.
That's definitely interesting. I know I wouldn't have guessed it. I just thought, you just made it up out of your thin blue, out of the air. Like, well, what's a good name? Shay Hart. Okay, let's go with that. Cool.
Yeah, the all names of my friends and stuff.
All right, that's what's up.
So are any of the characters like designed after your friends, or
some of them are. Like, for example, there's a character named Inspector Ian. I don't know if you guys remember him. He's the human police officer who is involved a lot of the conflict, and he's a good guy. And I based him actually over my pastor from my church. So
really?
he has the same look, the same mustache, bald head, very serious. So I based a lot of my characters off of my friends, and some of them visually.
Is your pastor aware of that?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
Yes, he is.
That's
He likes the character too, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's dope.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And Leo, the main character's master. So I didn't intentionally base Shay off of myself, but I took a few things from my life, and Leo, Shay's master, is based off of my teacher, Leo. His name is actually Leo, and he looks the same actually. I basically look off of him as well. And put that in the story, not knowing what I was doing, kind of making Shay me. I didn't mean to do that, but there's a lot of real life. I draw a lot of inspiration from real life.
That's great. That's great. It's always good to know where the creators get their inspirations from, and it always just feels a lot more real when they're getting it from real life experience and people who they've met, and be able to take different personality and traits from different people that they know, put them in the characters to make people relate to them a lot more. So that's definitely something.
It's good for character development and all that too. Like, just knowing that, and like hearing it from you makes it even better for us as we like read further into the series. Like, oh, this is dope,
Yeah. So when Ian does something spectacular, I'm like, boy, that pastor boy, he got some moves on him. So, of course, if a lot of you haven't seen yet, Ordeal is officially becoming a Webtoon original. So I definitely want to get your thoughts on that. When did this come about? Did you know this was something that was happening like once you ended the first season, or was it something recently? And how do you feel now that it's a Webtoon original? Because I know that comes with different perks and stuff like that, as far as just being a canvas creator.
So it always was the goal. At the time I started uploading, it was called Featured. To try to become a featured webtoon. And it always was the goal. I was hoping to get it. And Webtoons, they contacted me a couple of times if I wanted to become an artist for one of their series. So, and it didn't work out, but I'm glad it didn't, because I was able to continue with audio. And I remember this funny incident with this guy who he has a webtoon story, but he's not an artist, he's a writer. So they were looking for an artist, and they were coming to me to see if I'd be interested. It was a good opportunity, but I talked to a lot of people for advice because I really didn't know what to do, because at the time I was looking for free. I was uploading audio, I had zero income. And this was an opportunity to actually have an income, to become an artist for another webtoon story. Wouldn't have been my story, but at least I would be getting paid, right?
Right.
And fresh out of college, it would have been a good opportunity for me. And I wasn't sure if to take it, because if I did take it, I would not be able to continue Ordeal. And I looked for a lot of advice, and my parents were very supportive because I was working for free at the time. So I chose to decline the offer and pursue Ordeal, and here it is. It really did work. But I got a lot of negative along the way. I remember this one guy telling me, Ordeal will not make it because they don't want your story right now. Your story isn't good enough. And I remember a guy literally telling me this. Webtoons is not looking for your story. Your story will not be featured because it's not what they want. So, like, leave it and come work for me, some kind of like that. And I kind of laughed it off, and it kind of fueled me to continue. But I knew I had to use wisdom about it. If it doesn't work out, if it doesn't work out, I'd have to get a job, actual job, so I could like buy things to eat.
Right.
So I mean, and the contract, it came after a long time just editing and fixing things, because when I flew, remember, it was just a project. There was no intention of this being a prolonged series.
Right.
So I had to fix a lot of things in the beginning because it wasn't well thought out. I didn't set plans for the future. So I really had to make a lot of adjustments to the beginning of Ordeal for it to be up to par, a good enough standard. When the contract came, I mean, I worked really hard, and I mean, it's a one-man job. A lot of people don't know that I'm one guy, and that I do all of Ordeal by myself. A lot of people say compliments to you and your team. You have such a good team. Your editors are amazing. And I'm like,
I wish I had editors.
Yeah, well, it's fun. It's fun. I really enjoy what I'm doing. So, and it's a great opportunity. You know, I get to add a lot more things to my Webtoon because, you know, with becoming a Webtoon original, we get a lot more perks and stuff like that, as well as an income. So that's great. I was working for free for like 2 years. So I was slaving away for free. I mean, I'm proud of where it is now, and I just hope that people still enjoy it. And the point of making a story is that people are entertained.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's incredible that you I knew this that you was the only one on Webtoons, that you didn't have a staff and stuff like that. And I don't think a lot of people still realize until probably now when they watch this that it was only you.
It's not easy at all.
Right.
Oh.
Right. That's why I said in the beginning of this interview, I was like, this man's penmanship is there. Like, his penmanship, his art, like, is top notch. Definitely.
Appreciate it.
Hey, man. All to you. G, you have another question, Michael?
All right. So about just the whole culture and everything of the series. You say you're from Trinidad, right? So do you have any people in Trinidad like now that read your Webtoon, or even your family that's back there in the country, and they hit you up and saying like, yo, like, I remember this, remember that, or like, do they see anything from their culture like that's passed on a lot into this that they like ask you about?
Yeah, I try to use locations, because for all anime watchers, we know that in anime movies and shows they use actual locations in Japan.
Yeah,
and they always use these locations, and the readers can so relate it. So one thing I always try to do is use my locations from where I live. So I would use Port of Spain, I'd use the Savannah, I use different areas and just turn it into a fight scene. So people can relate to that, and they love to see Twin Towers, which is like a big monument here for us. So I use that a lot. So my place is small, my country is small. So I mean, you can't miss it when you see it. So yeah.
That's what's up. I had another question. Which character was the most difficult to write for you in Ordeal, and why?
Val. Yeah. Val Badger's Arthur. That's my current big villain. He's the vampire-looking guy.
Yeah.
You don't want to be cliche. You don't want to be over-the-top villain, evil laughing kind of thing. You don't want to spoil it. So to make him as terrifying, to have a history behind him, and to make him strong, but obviously not too strong. But it took a lot of work because I'm actually still tweaking his talent a bit, and I got his appearance down pat for my liking, so I'm satisfied with that. I'm still tweaking a bit of his talent, but I have his backstory and everything fleshed out. And he was a lot of work to do because he's a very important character, and there'll be a lot of eyes on him, so I really wanted it to be perfect. As I talked about earlier, the same thing with Madara, where they would talk about Madara for years in Naruto, and then bring him in. And when they brought him, everybody was like, wow, because, we've been hearing about this character for so long. So I love those kind of things in stories where it's not just instant gratification for action and cool characters that you forget about 2 days later. I mean, you want it to be something that people can really engage with. So I really worked hard on Val. So I hope he is as intimidating a character as he's supposed to be.
All right. He definitely looks intimidating. I'll definitely give you that one. I remember our first thing, I was like, oh, yeah, this guy's going to be a problem. He's definitely going to be a problem.
Now, who's your favorite character to actually draw out?
Probably be some guys from season 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from season 1, it was definitely Rokash in his final form.
Yeah,
no spoilers for those who didn't see it yet. That was really fun to draw.
Yeah,
for season 1, but for season 2, I have a couple new characters. Season 2 and beyond that they are a lot of fun to draw. Villains, especially.
Okay, all right. So got some new potential fan favorites coming. I like the sound of that. All right. So is it any other first off, before I ask this, because I don't want to ask it and then it doesn't matter or whatever. But do you read any other series on Webtoons?
Yeah, I have a couple. I stopped reading a lot of manga and I started watching a lot of anime and stuff a long time ago when I got into writing my own. And I did that deliberately because you have a tendency as a creator and as an artist, you have a tendency to take reference, not knowing that you're doing it. So you have a tendency to make a character spiky and not knowing that you're kind of copying Naruto or you're kind of copying some Luffy or another anime character. Yeah. So I, especially the newer genre and new gen anime, I try not to watch a lot of them. I try to read a lot of manga anymore. I actually stopped that completely. And I read a few webtoons. Probably my favorite would be between a webtoon called Gull and Urban Animal. Okay. Those two webtoons are amazing. So, but I try to stop reading and watching a lot so that when I'm creating something, my mind is fresh. So that when I'm making something, nobody could say that I copied from something else. I copied from somewhere else because my mind was clear and fresh when I made the characters, so I can have a level of confidence that I'm being as original as possible for me. So,
all right, that makes sense. That makes absolute sense because it's just like whenever I was younger, when I would draw or try to think of little things like that, that makes complete sense. You got to keep it fresh, and you don't want characters to be like a mimic or, like you said, a copy of someone else's character, because at that particular time, that character might be on your mind while you're creating your own character, and then you don't even realize it. Right. And the similarities start kicking in, and then that's not. You'll get that kind of feedback. You don't want that. So.
Yeah. And even if the characters still are similar, because great minds think alike, right? So if you're making a villain, it might be similar to somebody else's, but you can feel confident in yourself that you didn't know that character existed when you were making yours. So you might still have to make a little adjustments, but it makes you feel better about yourself.
Now, let me ask you this. This is something I talked to JD about before, and I told him I was going to ask you about this. What about two random characters, bro, that just pop on the scene just for one episode that might do an interview? What's up with that, man? Could that possibly happen in the future? Season Shay. 2, Season 3. Yeah, we might interview Shay. We might be the homeless guys he saved one day. You know, just two guys. You know, one with dreads, one with a fade, looking debonair. You know, like.
Well, I'm a bit busy these days, so I have to get back to you on that.
Right.
No,
right. Yeah.
All right. So let's get into a little season 2, man. I know you're not gonna spoil anything, and I don't want you to spoil anything, especially for the fans that's been waiting. But what can you tell fans of what they can look forward to when season 2 drops?
Okay, so the plot for season 2, without spoiling anything, as best as I can, season 2 is a location change. For season 2, they leave the country, right? There's a lot of things happening overseas, and the characters need to go there, deal with it, and come back. And when they go there, deal with it, it's a lot of stuff takes place home while they are away on business. A lot of stuff, serious stuff, take place at home. So it's like a back and forth. They go to danger to come back to more danger. So season 2 has a lot of new characters because, listen, season 2 has been thought out from even when I started season 1. I've been already taking little notes here and there for what I wanted in season 2. So season 2, the timeline and everything is thought out. I'm making sure that it has great villains and engaging story. And one thing I read a lot in the comments that people were asking for was they love training arcs. So I made sure to put a nice training arc for Shay in season 2. So
all right. I know they're gonna kill me if I don't ask this, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask. Could you give a release date for season 2? Because if I don't ask that, they're gonna kill me. So I don't know if you can or not, but I know if I did ask, they would kill me in the comment section, be like, "Yo, why didn't you try to get the release date?" So I'm gonna at least ask. I don't know if you can say it or not.
If you don't have a date, just give us like a season.
Yeah, or
in a year,
or maybe
like
a
summer 2021. Yeah,
something like that.
All right. Let me see. I should be able to put all those questions to rest right now. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Season 1, because of the Webtoon contract, they are going to have me to re-release season 1 from beginning. So now a lot of people were concerned they might take another 2 years before season 2 comes in. No, because season 1 will be weekly. It might even come out an episode every 5 days or so, depending on how much is ready. So season 1 should be fully completed within a year.
Okay.
But I have made sure that I almost redid season 1. I did a lot of new art, and I updated a lot of the content and the story and the pacing and the art, and I added new panels, new story. So to the people that have been reading Ordeal from the beginning, I did not forget about you. So I made sure that when Ordeal is re-released, there will be new things for you to see and read in in every chapter. There'll be new things, and I made sure to scratch out things I didn't like in terms of the art and just do it completely fresh with the new style, because my style would have obviously changed over the years, and with more practice in the story, my style changed a lot, which it's very noticeable, at least for me. So I brought in a lot of new art and new content and new stories, new characters in season 1. So when you read season 1, it should come to you as a fresh new story, like you're reading it for the first time. Okay. So that is awesome. Specifically done for the original readers who've been reading Ordeal from day 1. That was done for you guys. So when that is done, there'll be a short hiatus, I believe, and then season 2 will come. So season 1 will be fully finished before season 2, but season 1 will be new things. It wouldn't be the same thing that you've been reading before.
So
that's awesome.
So timetable wise, we're looking at probably 2023 maybe for season 2.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, all right.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe before.
I got y'all some information, so y'all don't have to slander me in the chat. So.
Just know the new season of Ordeal season 1 remastered. We got that.
Remastered. Yeah. Remastered.
Or
you add new updates.
Ordeal Brotherhood. The
right.
The definitive edition. Got you. All right. So, do you have any more questions?
That's it, man.
All right. So go ahead and get into some fan questions. Just a few I got. So, of course, one would be, would you have imagined that so many people read Ordeal, and how does it feel?
I remember I still have screenshots of when I went from 300 views to like 5,000 in a day, and I was blown away. I didn't know it was because Webtoons found my story, liked it, and put it up on Spotlight or recommended stories of the week or something like that. And that's when my viewers skyrocketed. It was so amazing because that is when this all began, because I started continuing the story because I realized people liked it, and I'm like, but I'm not a good storyteller. Why people like my work? Right. But so it inspires me to do better, because I know personally that I'm not the best writer, nor am I the best artist, which doesn't mean that I can't get better. So I'm purposing to really be better. So when I saw how many people read Ordeal, it was truly, truly amazing, and it's a dream come true, because I know a lot of people have their own stories in their head, their own manga or anime story in their head, but they just can't put it to people. So I know I'm really blessed that I'm able to do what a lot of people wish they could have done. So I just run with it.
Definitely. Another question, which I'm pretty sure you can't answer this one, but did Shay destroy the world?
Ooh. Define world.
I guess the world of Ordeal, maybe. I know you kind of teased stuff in the beginning on Shay and his path, or where he may end up. So I guess that's probably what they're referring to.
Okay, let me just say like this: I don't like happy endings because it's cliche and boring.
All right.
So that's all I'll say.
All right. Another one is, how did you come up with the talents for the characters?
That's a good one.
I love.
That's my question.
Well, yeah, I love. I love powers, and I love. Because remember, Ordeal originally was just supposed to be gangsters and mobs, and it was and I was doing that for class, for my teachers, but it was missing my flair, what I really liked, which was superpowers and superheroes talents. And at first it was just, I remember somebody asking me, how do I match the talent with the person's character design? And sometimes the talent comes before the character, so I might come up with a talent to control gravity, and then I'll make somebody to match, and that person might be heavy or very light, so I'll make the character to match the talent, or I'd make a character and I want the person to look really disheveled and tattered clothing or whatever, and I'd make a talent to suit that person. So that is the most fun thing to do. It's that's the best part of everything, making characters and making the appearance to go with the talent, or vice versa. So, and powers are like the best part of the story, because when you get a new character, you get a new talent, you get a new power, and I can't wait to see what could this guy do now? Like all the other guys before did this, I wonder what he could do. So it's great because you get new things all the time, and it's new cool things. Superpowers is always cool. So.
Alright. Well, what has been?
Now let me ask you this: which one is harder to do? Is it to like get the talent and then make the character from the talent, or make the character and then make the perfect talent for that character?
Anything to do with the talent is the hardest part, because the character design could be fairly easy. But you see, when you're making talents have to have weaknesses, and they have to have strengths and
balance.
And stuff. And they need balance. So that's usually the longest part of it. Sometimes I finish the character and I finish the talent, and I realize that something is missing. The talent is too strong or too weak, so I always have to tweak it. So the talent is always the hardest part to edit, but it's fun because you have to. And when you're making a talent, you have to think ahead and think back of how this character would have gotten the talent, how would they have grown up. If somebody has a power to make their skin like lava, how would they have grown up, going through their childhood with that kind of thing? So you have to think it through, and maybe their skin isn't always like lava. Maybe it's just like a emotional response or something. So you really have to think behind how their life was with the talent, how it is now and how it will be. So the talent is the most difficult part to make.
That's crazy. I wouldn't even thought about it like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, and one more. Would there be? Well, I guess I'm gonna phrase it like this: will Shay and the rest of the gang have kids, and will they be a part of the story, or is that something more of like a sequel type thing?
How do I answer this? It is a desire to, at the end of all of this, when Ordeal is completed, it is a desire to make a spin-off with a couple kids.
Okay.
Of the main characters. So it is a desire to somehow allow them to have families. If they survive, if they live, we don't know.
Y'all heard it here first. So your favorite character might not make it to the end. So just be prepared.
Warning.
I love when it's like that, though. I hate the cliche stuff, dude. It's so good.
Same.
Definitely keep it interesting.
It gets so predictable that you can be like halfway through it and be like, I already know what's gonna happen. Like,
right.
And when it's unpredictable, I feel that's just when it's best. Like shock value, all that like hits, and when it hits home, that's when it's more impactful, and it does something to you with that series. You know?
Something to talk about.
Definitely. Well, I want to thank you once again, Brent, for sparing some time away from season 2 and from planning that I know you're doing to give us this opportunity, just to have a word with you, talk with you, and definitely I'm gonna be checking out. I'm gonna reread Ordeal, have it up on the channel, and I just want to say congratulations yet again on your series becoming a Webtoon original, and I'm definitely looking forward to more of your work. If you have any other series, I know a few creators do like multiple series, so if you ever do that, I'm looking forward to it, man, and hopefully we can have you on again right before season 2.
Yeah, revisit.
Yeah, right before season 2 drops, and yeah.
Sounds good.
Really appreciate you, man. Appreciate you giving it to that time, dude. It's awesome. And learning the back and how everything worked out. This is dope, dude. Appreciate it.
I have a question for you guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? My turn to interview you guys. So,
okay.
What is your favorite and least favorite thing about Ordeal? Be as brutal as you want.
Well, my least favorite, you've already answered that, as far as just the pacing and the missed things that you left out in season 1. So since you already said you redoing season 1 and it's going to be more fleshed out and everything like that, that was only my biggest critique of it, was that it did feel kind of rushed, and like he was kind of filling in story pieces here and there, and certain characters and stuff wasn't fleshed out. But you already answered that, man. So I'm
I agree.
I'm looking forward to it. G, you had any?
I haven't read it completely yet, so I don't. So far, so good for me, man. I don't see any weak stuff. I mean, but if that's an issue with JD, we seem to kind of like, like the same stuff, kind of have the same feelings about these things. So if that's what it is, and if it gets flushed out season 2, man, then that's all good. But so far, I'm loving everything I've read so far. I love the character designs. I love like the culture surrounding the characters, the diversity in the series. Like I like it a lot. The art to me is just amazing. It's amazing. If you're telling me it's gonna be better, bro, like,
hey man, look for all y'all who don't know, he put up a little tease today. He dropped some teasers, some teaser screens of some characters from season 2. You will see a few of those teasers in the thumbnail, so you will be able to spot some differences in some characters you may haven't seen before. So those are definitely some for season 2.
And I remember when the first time I see Che and I seen his hair, and I was like, "Yo, it's my guy." I was like, "That's dope, dude." And yeah, man. And the teacher, oh Jesus, like I had to like pull my lady to the side, like, "Do you see this right now?" Like yeah, I'm digging it. I can't wait to finish this and then start all over with remaster.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah.
Now, I will be giving
now
the remaster.
Speaking of that, this redo of season 1 that you're doing, will Before Ordeal be a part of that, or will Before Ordeal be separate?
Yes.
Okay, so it will be a part of that.
Yeah, most of the timeline will be the same. Mm-hmm. It will just be whatever was missing, I'm trying to put in. Wherever I didn't explain something, I'm trying to put it in now. So that's really what's happening, and updated art along the way. So that's what's going on.
All right. Now go ahead.
What studio would you have liked to do the anime adaptation of it?
I will dream for Ordeal to be a Netflix original one day, and I really fell in love with his UFO Turbo.
Oh, I was gonna say. What? I was gonna say that. Yes, bro. Because
studio no budget. Yeah.
Hey. Well, listen, dude. Like with the way that like he has the arts, the fire, the water, and stuff like that. Just imagine what they could do with that. I mean, just based off of Demon Slayer. Okay, I'm basing it straight off Demon Slayer. You know, like
I'm basing it off of the Fate series. That's what I'm basing it off of.
Well, you're as good as your current work, though, man. Come on, like you see Mugen Train, like come on.
No.
Look.
I haven't seen that as yet.
Look.
Oh man,
I can't wait to see it.
Look, I'll give Demon Slayer their props with Demon Slayer, but look,
I'm not talking about the story. I'm just strictly talking about
that's
the
what I'm
art,
saying.
Man.
Art and animation.
Okay, yeah.
People really don't remember Fate Zero Unlimited Blade Works. They really do not remember. Gee, have you watched Unlimited Blade Works?
No.
That's why. If you watch Unlimited Blade Works, bro, there are an animation on that take of Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night. Technically, it's just a reversion of Fate Stay Night. Blows anything you've ever seen in your life out of the water. I promise you. Fate. Look.
Yeah.
Well, go watch Unlimited Blade Works. Watch it.
I can imagine the final showdown with Shay and Tevin versus Rokash in that art style. Like that's my dream right there.
Yeah,
that's my dream right there.
I was thinking that, but I was thinking you're gonna say like Studio Bones or something.
But I like UFO Turbo.
Hey man, you affordable Netflix? Somebody y'all watching, man? Hey, hit your boy up. Go ahead and give him that deal. So I guess for those since we did cut it off, you want to reiterate how long it takes you to do chapters, and when we and also when will the redo of season 1 drops? Just reiterate that one more time for those people.
Season 1, looking to get season 1 started uploading before this year is completed. So before the year is over, season 1 should start, God willing. And that's the plan. So by next year, this time, season 1 should be completed. It should take less than a year. Should take less than a year to finish. And it takes me. I used to take a day to do 1 page, but now I do about 10 to 20 pages a day, because obviously over time, your process with you learn those shortcuts to cut down on process time. So it's a lot faster now for me, but eventually I'll probably need to get maybe an assistant or something to help with like the editing and the technical part of it, so I could just focus on the art and the story. So,
hey man, like I said, man. So, anime in the dreams, I'm with it because I can see it, especially my guy with the Candy Crush.
Especially when my man say you foldable. Let's go.
Right,
That's like a match made in heaven right there, man.
Right.
I'm telling you, I can see it.
Because their art style definitely meshes well with yours. A lot of the darks and stuff definitely
the elements and stuff like that. Yeah,
it definitely matches with their art style. I see what you were doing there, man. I got you. Yeah. That's definitely great, man. Definitely great. G, you had any more excellent questions?
Nah, because it'll keep going on. Keep going on, man.
All right. We gonna say something for the following.
This is everybody's there.
We gonna say something for the following interview right before season 2. All right, so I'm going to end it here, and I'm fine with that.
All right,
fine with that. But yeah, again, thank you, my brother, for giving us this opportunity. And for everybody, make sure to check out Ordeal. I'll have the Twitter link for the official Ordeal Twitter page in the description below. Also, of course, where you can read it on Webtoons, that will also be in the description below. And yeah, we will catch you guys next time. Peace.
Peace. Take care.
Take care.